Hi friends, in today's video I'm going to show you how to do this Ken Burns style dynamic zoom effect for static images in DaVinci Resolve. But not only static images, we can also do them of course on moving images. So the dynamic zoom effect in DaVinci Resolve is very easy to do, and this is just available to us to use on the inspector tab. Okay, so first of all I'm going to show you how to do it on a static image. So in this timeline here, I've got this picture of this woman sitting by the waterfall. But as we play the clip, of course, it's just a static image. So we can use the Ken Burns style effect to make this image look a little bit more interesting. Now, I think the Ken Burns effect was introduced maybe a decade or so ago for static images on TV, and it's been used widely since. So first of all, click on the clip in the timeline, and then go to the right-hand side to where you see the Inspector tab. If that's not showing, like for example like this, then make sure you click on the top right and enable the Inspector tab. Now about halfway down you should notice where it says a dynamic zoom. So that's your guy, you want to switch that on. And you're not going to notice very much going on here. So we need to then enable or get access to the dynamic zoom tool. Now on the left hand side over here, if you click, you should see a number of options, but dynamic zoom is not available because I've got it selected to the actual source image here in the viewer. To make sure you go to the very top here, and I've currently got source tape selected, move across to where it says timeline. Select on that, and then the image should update. And then if you click on the little drop down on the bottom left, just below the viewer, you've got a different set of options, and one of them we're looking for is the dynamic zoom. So again, if it doesn't appear, make sure you have timeline selected, and then you should then see dynamic zoom. Now, as soon as you click on it, you should see these little rectangle appear in the center of the screen. You've got this green one, and right on the edge, you probably can't see it that well because of the black, there's a very thin red line. If I'm going to zoom in, you should see there is a red one just on the side here. So the green is the in point and the red is the out point. So this means it's going to start off zoomed in and then it's going to zoom out. So if we play the clip now, notice that it's starting off basically zooming from the center of the image outwards. Now this, what we can do is if we want to make it zoom inwards, then we can change where it's got swap. Click on that. And now we have the green rectangle on the outside of our frame, and the red rectangle appears in the middle. So now it's going to zoom in rather than zoom out. Let's just play the clip. And we have a zoom in effect. But notice that it's now zooming in to the center of the waterfall, rather than, which makes more sense, to zoom in on the actual person sitting on the left-hand side here. So what we can do is we can now modify or change the rectangles and actually control where the zoom goes. So we want to sort of zoom in on the person. So we need to change our red rectangle. I'm going to click these dots here, make it smaller, and then click on the middle of it and then drag the rectangle over to where the person is. And then notice we've got these little dots here appearing on the red line. So these are effectively creating keyframes for the animation to control its movements. So we're going to say we're going to start off zoomed out, and then we're going to zoom in the picture to actually get the person here, and I'm just going to move it maybe at that position. Let's now play the actual image, and now straight away you can see we're actually now zooming in of the actual object of interest by the person sitting on the waterfall. So this is a nice easy effect you can do. It's kind of very made popular by the Ken Burns movement. Like the other thing you can do is you can make the movement a little bit more, like a little bit nicer, by choosing where it's got the dynamic zoom ease. Now by default it's got linear selected, which means it's just going to be a linear regular speed throughout the whole of the zoom effect. But you can make it ease in and ease out by clicking on it and then choosing ease in and ease out, which means it's going to start off a little bit slower, then accelerate to a certain speed, and as it gets towards the end of the actual animation, it's then going to kind of slow down again. So I'm going to play that with that effect. It speeds up, and as it gets towards the end here, let's just give it a moment to finish there. You should notice it starts to slow down the actual animation. It's actually quite subtle, but it does actually make a little bit of an effect. All right, not just static images, we can also use this effect on moving images. So let's take this particular example here. Now this is a moving shot of a lady, obviously with a camera. So what I want to do is zoom in on her face and also the camera. So of course we need to make sure we want to zoom in. So we need to change the swap to change it so the green is on the outside. So we're zoomed out first of all, and then we're going to finish with a zoom in. And it's exactly the same as we did before. We can actually click on the red triangle, the dots in the corner, resize it, and I'm going to move the rectangle over to the camera, which means we're going to not only zoom, but also going to sort of pan the camera at the same time. And now I can actually play the clip. Notice we get the zoom in and also the pan at the same time, controlled by this dynamic zoom. So this tool here is actually quite straightforward to use. The only trickiest bit is just making sure you get the direction correct between whether you want to zoom in or zoom out with either the green rectangle or the red rectangle. But if you make a mistake, you can just click swap and it's just going to toggle it anyway. Okay guys, I hope you find this video useful, and of course if it is, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips and tricks on DaVinci Resolve. Take care and see you soon.